What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey, and we are live late, but we're live for another whiteboard session here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you're watching this, I'd love to get a comment. Let me know where you're watching this from. Today, we're going to be talking about why growth as a leader equals success, or rather, why failure translates in business because of our lack of growth as leaders, and how we can create environments and opportunities for that to be able to foster and nurture that to be able to grow. All right. That being said, let's go to work. All right. So I didn't actually erase my board, but today we're talking about why growth as a leader equals success. And I remember I posted a comment in a group several months ago, and I simply asked the question: does greatness in business mean you have to be great as a leader? Right? Does success in business mean that you have to be great as a leader? And I was surprised at how many people said no, you don't have to be great at leader. You just have to be great at business. You have to be great doing what you're doing, great at your job, or just even not be great at all. Just know what you're doing, be competent, whatever the case may be. And so I think that a lot of people are actually missing the point, or understanding that the gap between what it means to be a great leader and what it means, how that translates into great business success. And so one of the things I want to talk about today is simply how we can learn to think about these things a little bit differently, and why it's so important. Because what we see over and over again are how failures in leadership can translate into the losses of, well, catastrophic circumstances, catastrophic results for so many people, businesses, lives, etc. And so the understanding of how we need to be able to translate that, and maybe the shift in our thinking, is so important to be able to navigate the hurdles and the obstacles that are going to be coming, because we are through the pandemic. You would hear it say over and over again. You would have heard it said over and over again that we're in uncharted territory in unprecedented times. But in reality, we know that life is about cycles, and you will have good times and you will have bad times. And the good times you have are often determined by how you navigate the rough waters of life and business. And if you do not have the frameworks in place, how are we going to be able to measure that and manage that, right? So what we want to talk about today is simply a few things that we can put into place to be able to navigate this, right? And this is simply why leadership matters, right? Why leadership matters. Running out of ink. All right. It matters because there are certain things that we need to have in place to be able to buffer against ourselves, right? So one of the things that we want to be able to have is this. It is an ecosystem. And an ecosystem is simply an environment that nurtures success, right? And so as a leader, you need to have around you an environment that nurtures success. People that are at your peer level. You need to have things that are in place that are important. And specifically, what I'm talking about in this regard is around coaching, and why coaching matters to leadership, right? And a lot of times people ask, well, what is coaching, right? If you don't know, then you should understand that coaching, in my mindset, as Rich Lipfin, one of my mentors, talks about, coaching is leadership, right? And so leading other leaders, helping other leaders to think about their thinking, helping other leaders to think about their leadership in an environment. And I work with entrepreneurs, by and large, helping them think about building their business as a form of leadership itself, but also understanding that the leadership within the business is necessary to be able to grow the business. And so if you want to be able to grow anything, you need to be able to have an ecosystem that fosters growth, right? So whether you are working in a service industry, or you're building or manufacturing a product, you're in sales, or you have a marketing agency, whatever the case may be, you need to have a ecosystem that fosters growth. You need to be able to understand how things grow, how you grow as a leader and what allows you to be able to grow. And so coaching is one of the aspects that allows you to be able to do that. Now, for those of you who say, well, Fred, you're just trying to sell me coaching. I want you to understand you can't even work with me in our coaching business if you've never had a coach before, right? So this isn't something that we just introduce and offer to people new, and especially at the levels that we work with people. You need to have and understand the relationship that you have with coaching. And having already been able to do that allows us to be able to move faster. If I'm introducing you to this concept, initially, then consider that an introduction here in this video. But this is not something that I'm trying to pitch you, but simply trying to help you understand why it's so important and why it's so vital. If you don't have an ecosystem where things are growing in your business, what do you have? The opposite of growth is always death. And so it may feel like things are moving along at a pace, but you can tell when you're stagnant, when things are not moving, when you're not getting acceleration and momentum in your business. And so you need to be able to understand, how are we able to foster things to help people be able to grow? Not just myself, but if I have a team, how can they grow? For instance, on my team on Fridays, we have a period of time where in our launch call every day, what we have is the opportunity to be able to share personal dreams and goals, to assess the growth from one week to the next, to be able to understand those things. And that's important because people have lives outside of their businesses, right? It's my business, but they have a life that is outside of their job. And so what I want to be able to do is help them to support them in that regard. I talk about this in, in my book, Breaking Orbit. One of the things that I got from Gary Vaynerchuk, right? I loved seeing how he would, in his blog, he would have sessions where he would have 15 minutes set aside to meet with every single person in his company. And I think now he's well over 1,000 people, so he may not even have that capacity anymore. But at the time, he had about 400, 500, 600 people. And so what he would do is whenever there was a new hire, some face that he hadn't seen before, he would say, hey, set up 15 minutes with my assistant, get on my calendar, whether it's in a month or two, and let's sit down and talk about what your goals are. He wanted to be able to nurture people and foster that environment where people felt like they could grow at every level. And so his business continues to grow. And we see that if leaders are focused on growth and an environment and an ecosystem of growth, they're able to foster that for their people as well. The next thing is, let's see if I can do this so it looks like a person actually, right? Conversations. And conversations, from a coaching aspect, allows you to be able to converse. It allows you to be able to articulate thoughts. It allows you to be able to listen and hear. There's dialogue that is going back and forth. And what that does is it creates an environment where you are now able to talk through ideas. You're able to verbalize things. You're able to help them to take shape and take form. A lot of times what happens is when we're thinking about something in our head, it gets jumbled up with all the other things that are going on, and we're not actually able to see it as clearly as when we're having a conversation. Have you ever been talking to someone and you said something out loud and you realized it was a thought you were having, but it sounds ridiculous to even say it out loud, right? And so just the process of coming to it and having a conversation allows you to be able to put things into a proper perspective and to be able to say, this isn't as serious as I thought it was. Or this is far more serious than I even realized, simply because you're having that conversation, right? So that's really, really important. The next one is you want to have cognizance, right? And cognizance is simply self-awareness. How aware are you as a leader of your impact in your organization? Very often, there's a great saying that says it's hard to see the label when you're inside the box, right? And so how self-aware you are of what's going on inside your own head, what's going on inside of yourself, but also how is what is happening inside of me affecting what is happening inside of my relationships, my business relationships in the marketplace, etc. How does the one pebble that is me dropping into this lake of the world create ripples around me? And understanding the shape and size of my impact. How can I do that? And so if you have a coach, having coaches allows you to be able to create that level of cognizance and awareness. In essence, it's having a mirror that you're always there. Very few of us would walk out of the house without taking a look in the mirror to see how we look. And if we never look in the mirror, then we never have any sort of understanding about what our own visage is, our own image is. How do people see us? What is that level of awareness or cognizance that we have that allows us to be able to move forward, right? Very, very important thing. The next part of this is simply containers, right? So sometimes you just need a place to put things. And so when you're working through an idea, when you're dealing with a problem or a solution, and it seems like they're popping up everywhere, right? Oftentimes you need a place just to put that. And so having a coach allows you to be able to create this container where you can bring your problems, your issues, your questions, etc., and be able to put this in a useful place. And what happens for our brains is that when we have a place to put the things that are bothering us or that are unfamiliar or whatever, or we simply don't know where they go, just having a place to bring them, to sort that out, helps things to get what? Organized. And organization allows us to be more clear, more focused, and more productive. So our performance level goes up simply because now the rest of our week, our lives, our business, etc., is not cluttered up because we have a place to put the things that we don't understand, that we can't give shape to, that we don't really know exactly where they go. But now we can, from there, create an organizational pattern that allows our brains to think about things differently, to be able to get clarity, and to be able to take action on things a lot more efficiently and powerfully, right? So let me know in the comments what you're discovering as we're talking about this. What's most valuable for you? What's maybe not? We've got one more thing that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go from here, right? The last part of this part is this. We'll just do like that. And that is confidence. One of the most debilitating things for a leader, an entrepreneur, is the lack of confidence. One of the things that holds most of us back is getting in our own heads, our imposter syndrome, our feeling that we're not good enough, that we're not being successful enough, that we're not making enough progress. And so having a coach allows you to understand that you can focus on your strengths, you can enhance those strengths, you know that you are determining your best path forward, and you're able to continue to build momentum. And that allows you, that gives you confidence. You know that you are a good leader because you are practicing good leadership. And good leadership practices include having someone that can help you to continue to grow, right? So as you're moving forward and navigating these different paths, you're able to see that I'm making progress. There is something that is in my wake, and I am of significance and importance in what I'm doing. And we can't underestimate that. Just because you have a high level title, just because your business is making $1 million, $2 million, $10 million a year, there are always going to be things that are going to tug away and nip at us, that are going to be nipping away at our confidence, at our self-esteem, etc. And so no matter how confident you may feel that you are, or how accomplished you may be, there's always going to be a reason where you will need to be able to continue to validate your leadership, to validate your worth. And while that can be internal, and it should be internal, there's also something to be said about having a relationship with someone, a paid relationship, if you will, that says, I'm going to make sure that these conversations that I'm having, that these interactions that I'm having are always continually building me up and moving me forward in the most powerful way possible. So let me know what your thoughts are on this, right? We're talking about why leaders matter, why leadership matters, but these are the ways that you are able to continually build out your leadership so you can continue to grow your business, your organization, whatever the case may be, right? So make sure you have an ecosystem. You're having the powerful conversations. You have the cognizance that's being created so you're aware of who you are and how you're showing up as a leader. You have the containers where you can bring the problems and issues that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And you're developing the confidence over and over again that you're taking into your interactions with your team, with your business partners, with your clients or customers, etc. So hopefully this has been valuable for you. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you would like to have a conversation about potentially getting into a relationship with us to support you in your leadership in your business, feel free to drop a comment or send me a DM on any of the platforms that you are watching this on, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Or you can just send me a quick email and let me know. It's info@frederickbussey.com. Let me know if that's something that could be helpful for you. I am always looking forward to these conversations. I love talking about leadership. I love talking about growth. I love talking about business and entrepreneurship. Hopefully this has been valuable for you in the way that you're thinking about your business and shifting yourself forward each and every day. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Share this link with somebody that you know it would be valuable for them as well. And hopefully this has been valuable for you. All right. My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey, the founder of Icon Status. As always, ever forward.